Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
Okay, I got some. It says, rejoining the world. I developed epilepsy 4 years ago. I live on a farm and lost my license, thus lost my job as an RN. Fast forward to now, we moved to the city. Dear hubby left the farm for me to be able to have a life and quit living like an old woman. So here I am, finally ready to take my life back and work out the bus schedule and get back to work at the hospital. But can I share that I'm petrified, mainly because I am out of practice. My short-term memory takes a few minutes to pull up information. My meds make me dizzy and tired. I can't do night shifts. And just quietly, I'm not sure that I even want to do this. Can I even do this? Should I even go do this? Will my training knowledge come back to me after reintegration at work? I know that I was losing my mind at the farm. I was so lonely and wasting my life accomplishing nothing important and relying on others for rides and necessities from town. And so we've moved from an 80-acre property with a huge house and gardens and cattle into a 300 square meter apartment in the city. Dear hubby has given me exactly what I wanted, and now I am too scared. And is that sensible to start my life up again? I'm spinning and spinning. I need you guys to help me because you are the only ones who truly understand how it is to be ruled by hazards and to have lost your independence so long and don't know how to get back to your old self again. Am I still me, or am I chasing the old Foley? Or am I chasing the old me in the Foley? What's Foley? Folly? Is that a person?
It's like oh man, kind of like a
Lack of good sense, foolishness?
yeah.
Yeah, I believe you can rejoin the world. It's going to take some time to not be scared and not want to. But I wish I could go back to work. I loved working. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Seems like this person has some apprehension. Obviously, that's perfectly fine. But he's made the first step, and that's good. Just make that first step and be aware of everything, of your physical body and everything that made your health so sustainable to get you to this point. And just know your limits. And obviously, working on a farm is very difficult work. It's one of the most difficult jobs in the country. But yeah, just take this first step. And this is one of the most difficult parts of it is reintegration, getting back out there after getting healthy again. So best of luck and good fortune.
I was thinking I told you guys I started the school I work at. We started back up this last week or so, and it's been so stressful. I've been really thinking I'm fortunate that I at least get a little bit of time at a job, but I'm genuinely thinking about quitting because right now with all the budget cuts and everything, we're getting paid literally. I'm not exaggerating. 1 hour a day. We get paid 1 fucking hour a day. So me having to ride my bike there 3 miles, each way, I spend more time going to and from there than I'm actually there getting paid. And because of the budget cuts, there's less of us there now. They want us doing the exact same amount of work as that we all had to do last year, but with a lot less people actually working. So I'm getting to the point where like, fuck it, like if I quit and it's on my own and I quit, then I can't really get unemployment or anything. If I do something like so blatantly disrespectful that I get fired, then obviously I'm not gonna get unemployment either. So it's like I'm stuck like right in the middle right now, and it's so stressful. It's so stressful having to watch literally hundreds of kids at the same time while you're barely able to like control your own mind. So I don't know if I'm being selfish and and wanting to quit. Well, I know like a lot of you guys want to work and at least have something, or if I should be taking care of myself first and stopping working and then maybe focusing a little bit more on my health and stuff. I That's a lot to handle, but yeah, sorry guys. I just had to get that out there, man. It's been bugging me
I have
since
a lot
Tuesday.
of thoughts in response to that. Most of them are fuck this country, which I won't get into because that isn't a good thing. I don't know how
No,
this world is,
I agree with you, and I know what you mean on certain parts of it for sure. You're all good.
but
You're all good.
I am very sorry that that is what you're dealing with. I'm in the same boat where I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, you just don't know what to do. Like if it was me, I feel like if it was like a retail job or something, like I had like when I was younger or something. I worked at a couple of places in the mall, clothing stores or whatever. If I was just selling somebody a pair of jeans, I'd be like, F this, I don't care, I'm out. But it's like at an elementary school, I really enjoy being like working with the kids.
right, like
I don't
I'm
I don't
doing
have it
something
done
that
today, but I have a big mustache. They call me Mr. Mustache Man. They have
like
fun
I'm
with it.
doing
So
work that matters to me, and I have a degree to help me do work that matters even more. And I don't know that I have the ability to do either of those things. Like I am so frustrated because I'm like I'm wondering if I can keep my job, much less try for what I really want to be doing. And it's just like, and I want to vent more, but my wife just got home and we're moving, so we don't have a couch. We only have one room with one bed to sit on. So I am going to go, and I will talk to you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.
you too. It
Love
was
you,
nice to meet you.
Reese. You too.
Where's the button?
All right. So, is AJ available to answer that icebreaker out loud? By chance? Okay. Well, it looks like everything is coming through in the chat for you so far. Oh, hey, there you are.
Hi.
So tonight we're talking about what is your favorite thing to do after a bad seizure?
Um, might sound crazy, but to get naked and sleep.
I like that one.
I mean, after a seizure, I I really don't like the texture of my clothes, and my body heat is up to the roof, so I have to cool myself down. And sometimes I'm not aware of my surroundings, and I'm doing it right in the public.
Yeah.
Do you
I do that on a regular
sweat
basis.
a lot as part of your seizures?
Um, because I was on zoning grant, I was not able to sweat. So
Oh, wow.
my body temperature was really, really high. So
Wow.
I had most of the time to pour glasses of water on my head to calm myself down.
Wow. That's pretty
I
crazy.
don't know if you understand, but in my country, we don't use Fahrenheit, we use degrees. So my body temperature is around 34 degrees. The
I
usual
used
body
to be able
temperature
to
is around
do that.
37, I guess. So when I'm getting heated, it's really, really rough. I get up to 40, so I'm burning.
40 is Celsius, right?
40
Yes,
Celsius, 104-degree Fahrenheit fever. That's really high. Yeah,
yes.
that's
That's enough to
dangerous.
cause a seizure.
Yeah.
Usually it's not caused by the heat, but my seizure are pretty rough. I don't know how to say it,
I understand.
but they become really violent. I mean, I'm really small and I can beat up to 6 men, 5 fighters.
Oh, wow. The seizure strength.
Yeah, after in the post-ictal state.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me that too. You have Hulk strength after that.
Yeah, I mentioned it the other day. I don't think AJ was there, but yeah, a couple of times in the hospital. I've been there. I had like either a procedure or I had a seizure there. But yeah, I remember one time I had woken up, and the first thing I can remember is like a security guard standing next to my bed because apparently I was just like swinging at some of the nurses,
Oh,
and
I
they
have
were
a
they.
similar memory. I always,
So
uh,
yeah, I don't remember the actual swinging part. I just remember the security guard and a couple other people being around my bed. But yeah, it definitely sounds like yeah. Sometimes you get like that superhuman Hulk strength
yeah, I
from
remember
a seizure.
waking up in the emergency room. I was laying down on my stomach on the bed, and there were around me maybe 10 doctors, and they were trying to pull me to rotate me on my back, and they were like, "What the fuck is wrong? She's like a rock. We can't move her." And I was like, "Oh, I'm here? Okay. I'm gonna roll myself." You're like, "What?" And then I start to pull my IV from the arms.
Just the snap back into awareness and stop fighting.
Yeah, it's pretty rough in my case, but I'm still breathing. So this means I have another day to live.
Plenty more days. All right. You got the icebreaker. So I got something. It says barely an epileptic with question marks after that. So that might be the question. It says, has anyone ever been diagnosed with epilepsy, but then goes years between seizures? My first seizure was 2010, then 2013, then 2017, then 2023. 2023 and 2017, I was experimenting being off Keppra. In 2023, I got lazy with my meds after finally, in quote, accepting that I have epilepsy. Never found a reason for the seizures, and they're always grand mal, so I never remember the signs and always wake up in the hospital. Anyone else like this? I also want to be clear, I am not complaining. I seriously don't know how some of you in this group live life with the severity of epilepsy that you have. I would have opted out a long time ago, just for some guidance, just looking for some guidance.
They said that they finally accepted that they have epilepsy, but then they're saying that I mean, they're first off framing it as barely having epilepsy, and then they go and list all of these seizures and like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like barely epilepsy to me, first off, and then it doesn't sound like fully accepted that they have epilepsy. If they're trying to frame their cases barely, maybe there's an imposter syndrome. Maybe they see all of these other cases and they feel like theirs is their seizures are so infrequent that or I don't know. There's a lot of ways that you could read into what they were saying. It's hard to assess what they were feeling, what they meant by a lot of these things when, I don't know, when you're not in the room with them. Did anybody else get the impression that they kind of weren't really fully to terms with their diagnosis yet?
Yes.
Absolutely, Mark. Yep. Yep. And same as what you're saying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
It's a
It's
at the
denial
same time,
complex.
I'm not accepting the diagnosis because I know there is a cure. Not for me. I mean, I can have surgery because it's my epilepsy is area of the brain where they can access. I have no idea how to say it. It's right in the center of the brain.
Oh, yeah, that tiny little
In a
structure at the
hypothalamus, I believe.
The
yeah,
hippocampus?
hypothalamus. You
Oh,
nailed
Yes.
it.
so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when the seizure is starting, it's like, and it's spreading all over my brain. I mean, today I can have an absent seizure, tomorrow generalize, maybe focal. Right now I'm having about 45, 50 seizure a day.
Do
And
they
those are
know
ones that you can
why?
feel? How do you count those?
do-
Um, at the first time, I didn't know I was having seizure, but then I start to search my symptoms and I realize, okay, this is not normal. It's not normal to have a headache that does not go away with strong painkillers, and it's only going away when I'm reaching for my emergency medication, which I had to use a lot. And sometimes I was like committing blasphemy, which it's something I usually don't. I'm a very religious person, and I was like, no, this is not right. I'm not. This is not my spirit talking. It's something else. I was like, maybe the devil is doing something, and then I realized, no, this is not the devil. It's me. It's my brain working. Like, and I went to do a
What,
EEG,
what,
and then in 40 minutes, I had maybe like 5 seizures that were not stopping. And also, I became really obsessed with pornography and the other stuff. And I was like, this is not myself. It's not me. And I have a lot of intrusive thoughts, ugly intrusive thoughts.
do you
And I'm
relate
still struggling with
any of those
them, but
do you relate any of those like those feelings of um the um evil sense or whatever, is it is that kind of like your version of the panic attack or deja vu type of um
No, it's more like
focal epilepsy, or is it just something completely
when I'm trying to understand, when I'm asking myself if this me or not, I have two answers. They come in my
oh,
inside my mind. They are like yes and no, and I don't know which one to choose. And I also understand and find out that you can have seizure with um, I don't know, sexual um, symptoms. And I was like, this is not normal. This is not normal for me to have a seizure, to have purpura all over my face. And after that, after one seizure, to lose my sense to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's normal, but I've had seizures during sex twice. Yeah.
Well, I
triggered
didn't
by
have.
the sex in your case, Pookie?
Huh?
Can you
Or
repeat?
was it triggered by the sex in your case, Pookie? Or
In my case,
oh,
it's not triggered by sex because um, I didn't start my sexual life. I mean, I'm
right.
waiting for the chosen.
So it's just purely sexual
Um,
symptoms of the seizure. It's not
yes, my there is in that area it's there is a nerve called I guess pudendal. The
okay.
nerve, which
Yeah, the
is
one that it goes down the spinal
that it
column.
travels from the S2 and S1 vertebra around, and it goes right between your legs. And if something is going off there, everything it goes. Also, I discovered that after a seizure, you can experiment something called the thought paralysia or something like that. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? I mean, I can feel one of my leg and the other is not there. Or I had a seizure when half of my face was paralyzed. I
Wow.
believe at that moment I thought I have a stroke, but no, just a great seizure.
A great one. That, yes, wonderful seizure.
Yeah, but
Does that paralysis happen often?
right now, yes. After a seizure, I start to have a really hard pain. I don't know how to say it right, but it's severe pain in my left thigh and goes down on my tibia and around and in my foot. And I really can't walk normal. I have to go on my tippy toes, which I
Hmm.
normally can't. But after a seizure, I can't.
Hmm.
Just kind of a semi-related question to the feeling and everything I mentioned earlier. When I have some of my bigger ones, I end up feeling, like every muscle in my body, like I just, worked out at a gym or something all day long.
Wait,
So
you
if any,
after a
and
seizure can feel the pain?
it's just like muscle soreness, like if I sat there
Oh,
and like
yeah.
you lift weights, your muscles feel fatigued. But that'll be like how my whole body will feel sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But so for anybody that does have that kind of feeling after having one, do any of you guys get times where it takes like a day for that to start happening? Like you don't wait,
Uh,
like when you first come to like consciousness, I'd just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm a little tired now and everything. But then I
I,
feel
u-
way worse the next day.
I usually don't feel pain or tiredness in the first 3 days after a seizure, but the after that period, I start to feel a really severe pain in my legs, and I usually use lidocaine on my legs. I literally pour a lot of lidocaine, and sometimes I use a K-tap. I believe you know what it's K-tape. It's used for I mean, you can search it. I will send you. I will type in the, which is
Yeah,
you put
for
it.
like wrapping like a sports injury
Yes,
type of
it's
thing. Yeah, yeah.
usually.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I usually that's how I treat my fractures or dislocation in my body,
Hmm.
and it
Yep.
works every time.
Thankfully, it's just yeah, it's always muscle, just kind of yeah, muscle tensing up. Like I just worked out a bunch. You know, I mean, even if you actually did go to the gym and work out all day long, right? Your muscles don't feel sore instantly. Like it takes, you know, a little bit of time before you're like, oh man, yeah, I worked out yesterday. So thankfully, it's just been that I did have one slight little fracture from a fall one time during one seizure, but thankfully, it's just been yeah, just been the muscle thing. So I was just wondering if anybody had that weird sensation as
Did
well.
any of you lose weight during or the weight loss was caused by the seizure activity?
I think
Um,
in the days after, it's just because I don't have any appetite. So 5 pounds. Yeah, no more than like
Only
5 pounds before.
I lost half my weight.
That's a big difference.
Yeah,
I was
I was
just
gonna,
I
I
was
was
like a
gonna.
skeleton. My grandpa used to joke that every time when I'm hugging him, he can hear my bone moving, and or that he was playing the piano on my ribs cage, or he will pull some nails in my um, pelvis to hold my pants.
So how did you recover from that? Did you really just have to get more strict about eating?
um, I start to eat a lot of protein. I used to eat maybe like a dozen of eggs a day for like 2 years, and I was usually eating maybe like 1 kilogram of meat on a meal. I usually eat a lot of meat, but um, prior to this period, I was not with the protein, the meat, and I really hate it. Not because I'm a vegetarian or vegan. I don't like the texture. It's always it's not constant, and I don't like surprises with texture.
Yeah, for me, I mentioned before, AJ, I have a lot of issues with my pancreas. So essentially, how
Ooh,
that works, and anything you eat or drink gets filtered through your pancreas. So certain
yeah.
things like pork, beef, anything that's higher in fat, it makes it work a lot harder to break all of that down. So I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork, I don't eat fried foods. There's a lot of things that I can't do. So yeah, on top of not feeling hungry for, you know, a while after a seizure, when I do eat it, everything I have to eat has to be, you know, low fat or, you know, non-fat, you know, everything. Yeah, I've said before, my body weight's about 125. I'm 5'8".
Oh, well,
I don't know what that translates into kilograms. I'm sorry.
it's
And
okay. I
centimeters,
know I'm
but
around 5'9", so
okay,
and
yeah.
right now I'm
So I don't know if it,
53 kilograms. I don't know in what pounds. How much
yeah.
is it?
So I don't know for me if it's my other health issues or if it's the seizure medications or anything, but it's just always eating is always a battle no matter what for, you know, for me in general. So I mean, like I'll have two French fries and I'll just be like over the moon because that'll be like the one time a year I have a French fry. Like like that's how strict I usually keep my eating and drinking and everything.
Where are your favorite fries from?
What was that?
Where are your favorite fries from?
That's a good question. I honestly don't have them often enough to know. I mentioned before, like a few weeks, a couple months ago, I was on a family vacation. I was at Disneyland with my family, so I splurged a little bit and had a couple there. But everything's good at Disneyland, right? Or just any theme park. You know what I'm trying. You know what I'm trying to say. Any fried food, especially when you never have it, it's always good. I don't know one
Yeah,
specific place
but
to be
in
honest.
United
I
States,
live
the
in
fried
Orlando,
food
so
is
we're so
worse.
close to Disney World. And I have thoughts on not everything Disney is as it seems.
Oh yeah, no, it's not all yeah,
Yeah,
roses and
The
there's
flowers and
about
nightmares in
everything for
there.
sure. But
the thing about
There
fried
be
foods is I
nightmares.
always said you could deep fry a screwdriver, it would taste good. And but
Mm,
yeah, my neurologist said neuro seizures change over life because of your metabolism, and and I ate tons of French fries for
mm.
during high school when I was diagnosed, and that's pretty much all. I would eat 2 meals a day. I would eat pile of French fries for lunch, and I don't know whatever shit for dinner. Yeah, and they were the best fries. Those were my favorite fries in the world. And but
is
yeah,
that
and
any
your metabolism was so fast back then. It doesn't matter. You could just live off fries all day, but and then it gets a little slower or faster. I don't know, but so you got to adjust for those sort of things, I guess.
is anybody here a George Carlin fan?
I'm
So
not a
The
I
big
stand-up
might be, but
comedian?
I don't
hardcore
know
fan,
who
but
he is.
I know him enough to
He has
definitely
he
know
has
that
this
I
one
like
skit
him.
where he talked about America and everything having to be bigger and people overeating and everything. And he was like,
Yes.
you could
Even the
put
people
thought
are
he goes,
oversized
you
in
could put
America.
sauteed raccoons' assholes on a stick and Americans would buy them.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me,
I'm
you
like, yeah,
don't
pretty
want to
much.
tell me, Romania, and
You
hear
deep
the
fry,
opinion of
saute anything.
Americans.
Yeah, yeah, we'll eat it.
They got that
I
thing down
like
the shore.
I like
Sometimes I'm really
uh
wondering how it's possible to allow this type of food in your country. In my
Thank
country, it's
you,
not allowed. It's not
thank
allowed.
you.
I mean, the way the Coke is made in our country will make all the population uh, be addicted to the insulin. I mean, there was a girl on YouTube who said that after her trip of 2 weeks in the state, she gained maybe like 10 pounds.
That's
I
I mean,
crazy.
mean,
your
isn't
food,
it pretty
even your
common to
bread
gain weight on
is sweet. It's
vacation?
not. Or some people said that they had a problem with the gluten, and when they came in Europe, they no longer had it. So,
It's kind of
Yeah,
sad
I can
our
see that.
country
Yeah.
says a lot
Standards are
about our
much
country.
higher.
which here can comes my question: how are you supposed to be healthy in a country that does not promote healthy food? Or even if you're epileptic like us, how are you supposed to have a healthy diet?
You can have a
Because you
healthy
don't
That
diet,
know
extra
what
step.
you're buying.
but you got to have the money and time and a lot of things in this country to cook and buy healthy foods. Otherwise, you're
Well,
fucked.
and the self-control to eat something that tastes horrible compared to what you could be getting for, whatever. It's when you're used to that kind of stuff and then transitioning over to the healthy stuff, it's like, oh,
Well,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I'm like with AJ, I share that same sort of texture texture proclivity. Like when I chew something and the texture is not right, it like resonates up the jawbone, like right into the ears. It feels like my whole head is just resonating with whatever wrong
Yeah,
sensation
I
it
don't
is
get
in my
to
mouth.
resonate. I just puke.
I can't, well,
It's
yeah,
a
I
fair
guess
question
I
about.
should just like stop chewing and spit it out, right? If it's that unpleasant. I don't know. It never occurred to me until you mentioned it.
But I don't get
Uh,
to hold the food inside my mouth because if the texture is not right for me, I instantly puke. And it's not pleasant because last time when it happened, I almost puked in my backpack, and it
oh,
was open.
See, our country is sort of like an amalgamation of foods from all over the world, and we just ruin them.
Destroyed. Yeah.
You know, we
we'll
make them
smash them all
salty and
together and
sugary.
deep fry
Yeah,
the lot of
that's our
it.
specialty. We fry them and throw shits loads of salt on them. And so yeah, that's our problem.
Uh,
Well,
honestly, like I said, I've it's been a long time that I've been having to eat pretty specifically because of my pancreas, and there'll be a lot of times now that I'm completely used to the way like a low fat version of something tastes. And like sometimes I'll be like, okay, my stomach's feeling good today. I'm gonna splurge and I'll order the regular version of this, and then I'll have that bite of it, and I'm like, this really doesn't taste that much different from the fat-free version I just made at home last night. Like once you get used to eating a certain way, you really don't notice the difference. It just becomes the norm. I mean, there are certain things where you're just like, "Oh my gosh, this, deep fried breaded piece of cheese is, obviously way better than a carrot or something." But
Yeah. But
but
when it
for
comes to like
extreme
something
honestly,
comparisons,
I don't
but
understand
specific,
how you
like a
cannot
low
feel.
fat versus a regular version of the same thing, there are a lot of people who are like extremely attuned to the subtleties of flavor and not just flavor, but
Texture.
the nose and smell plays a huge role in the overall sensory experience of eating something. So
yeah, but you could
there
put any
are
type of
there are some
seasoning
people
on
who
on
will be
anything,
able to
right?
tell the difference and be off put by the difference between a low fat and a regular. Some people are just doomed to die at like 65 from a clogged arteries,
Yeah.
it's going to happen. There's got to be a low end of the bell curve. Otherwise, we can't shift the median up to like above 96, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your country says is the greatest, but every time when I'm looking, it's not something
The
I can say is
greatest
the greatest.
asterisk. See
Because
footnote.
in my country, I mean, only if you look at the Kensington or the guns allowing the, it's not something great. I don't understand how. I mean, in my country, you have to get a permit for the gun and you have to be trained for at least 5 years.
Yeah, that's weird. We don't understand that either. Nobody understands the gun situation here.
Yeah.
What
I
country
And
has
I
right
that?
now it's we are starting to have the same problem, school shooting and stuff like
Oh,
this, and we are really stricted about this. But
What
we also
country?
don't have
But
the same
the all of those
punishment
laws
system.
and restrictions aren't preventing school shootings then if they're starting
It's
to
not that
happen
it's
over there
preventing
too.
school shooting, it's preventing dumb people to use them.
Yeah, and,
because
and it's not like this
A
is
smart
anything. This is
person with a
anything
gun, I think,
new.
might be more dangerous than a dumb person with a gun if they're
well,
looking to cause harm.
That could
we
be
have a
very true
saying in my
because they
country:
actually plan it out
the
rather
most
than it being like
dangerous
a crime of
person
passion,
is
huh?
the stupid one who believes he's smart.
Um,
And I was gonna say like it's nothing new. Like I could dig it out right now. It's under my bed. I have my dad his gun. I have the handwritten receipt from it. He bought it in 1966. He was born in 1951. He was 15. All he had to do was he lived in LA at the time. All he did was drive across state lines. He went into Arizona, bought a gun as a 15-year-old, came back home with it
I mean,
just for the fuck,
the law,
just for the fuck
the
of it.
laws are made in a way so people can have access and destroy themselves. This is what the government wants, to control us. The stupid we are, the easy we are to be controlled, right?
what
Yep,
country?
as Donald Trump said, we love the uneducated people, don't we?
What country you in?
I'm from Romania. If you don't know, it's
I was thinking Eastern
where,
European based on the
Yeah,
accent.
Eastern Europe, yeah.
yeah. But if you know the story about Transylvania, Dracula, yeah, I'm from Transylvania. And actually, it's a funny story about the Dracula. It's made after one of our kings, late late king, who usually used to um, punish his enemies by having a really big stick, and he was pushing them from the butt, and the stick will go out. So that's from, and his name is Vlad Tepes. You can
Yeah,
Google and search.
Vlad the Impaler.
No, I'll send text right in the chat so you can see.
Okay. Mm.
It's a Romanian name and it's hard to pronounce it, so you can understand in your language.
Didn't the name come from Vlad Dracul? Is that not,
Yes,
is that
the, the story
a
was
different?
created after him.
Okay. So I'm confused then. Or these are two different people? Vlad Dracul
No,
and
the
Vlad
story.
Tepes?
No, the story was made after him, but we have some beliefs. I don't know how to say it, but we have some belief that the Dracula was a vampire and he usually sucked our blood, and but he was very harsh king to say, and he was not willing to perish or to have mercy on anyone. If you made a mistake, you have to pay it with your life. You steal something, you die.
Okay. So, but no drinking of any blood or anything like that. Would that be something that like added
Uh,
afterward to kind of demonize
no, they
such a
believe we were vampires, but after that, they realized the people who were actually the vampire were people who had cancer, most likely leukemia, and that's why we're pale at face, and they needed blood.
okay. So, but how did they get the blood?
I
That's
mean,
kind
you
of
have
the
in leukemia, the treatment means blood transfusions, stem cells
Okay.
transfusion or
Okay.
transplant,
So
depending.
this was like really like centuries ago old serious medicine at the time then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really fascinating. I
I'm a
love
history
I
learning new
mean,
nerd. I'm
our
loving
things.
this right
history is
now.
So cool.
kind of
I'm
fascinating.
all I'm all excited now. I love new facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun
Thank
fact,
you.
my language is half Latin, so I can understand very easily Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Mexican.
Okay.
That's
That's
impressive.
I'm sorry, could you list those again?
I mean, I can understand very easily Portuguese, Latin, um, Italian, Spanish, and maybe more. I
Okay.
mean,
Oh,
for me,
right.
it's
Yeah.
more easily.
The Romance languages, right?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
we are half Romans.
Not much French, maybe a little bit
Uh,
of
oh,
French.
actually, it's kind of funny. After I'm in a post-ictal state, I can understand uh, French, and I never studied. I studied German for 12 years.
That's weird. There's no
Yeah.
overlap there, is there? So you just out of the blue picked up French and
Yes.
speak it. That
And after my
that's really
seizure, from being ambidextrous, on with my right dominant hand, I became left-handed. So now I no longer can write with my right, I can write with my left.
Wow.
so your brain just like dominant hemispheres
Yes,
switch sides
just
took
flipped.
over.
But I can still flip people with my right hand. So I
Was
can still
your
do.
was your handwriting with your left hand as good as with your right hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, with my left hand, I write way cursive. I can write cursive with my right hand. I can't. I was never able to write, cursive typewriting.
Wow. That is interesting.
That's
I
They
wonder
fascinating.
do
if
they do not
cursive,
teach cursive anymore,
yeah, yeah,
or
I've read
at
that
least here in
there's,
California, the elementary school that I'm at, they don't teach them cursive anymore. I'm like, how are
yeah,
these
they
kids
don't
supposed
teach
to
it here
like
in Florida.
sign their names on a receipt or something? Like
Well,
what?
just make whatever squiggles they want, right? As long as it's repeatable
Yeah,
for
I mean, I
them.
guess you just write it in regular writing. Like, why does it have to be a fancy signature, right? Anyway,
When
but
I
still,
was
yeah,
a
it's
child,
just not taught
I
anymore.
used to put a smiley face for my name, and until I was 25, I usually write my name with letters. And that was my signature. I was not into making shapes that no
No
one
flourish
understands.
or any. I wonder if handwriting in cursive engages a different part of the brain than handwriting in normal, like just,
I would say
you
possibly a little
know,
bit because, like, anytime, I don't know, maybe it's because you don't do like a signature as often, but like when I do my signature, I kind of take a little more time and I make sure it looks, a little bit nicer. Whereas if I'm just signing my, James real quick, I'll just be like, and just write out the letters real quick. But if it's a signature, I feel like I'm doing something a little more fancy, right? Like, so I want to take my time. I don't know. That's just my my thought process on it. So maybe it does trigger a different, type of area or different thought process for people.
I don't know. For me, it's kind of hard to sign my signature because it's a really strange shape, and usually in our country, the area for the signature is really really small, and my signature is way 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 bigger. And I'm like, yeah, I I have to squish it.
Right, really small.
That's what
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like that too. Like it would take way longer. The area I live in, we have a lot of people that are from that are like of Middle Eastern and Indian descent. So sometimes those names can be really, really long, right? So it's like if you're trying to like sign a cursive name and then it's got like 20 letters as your last name, you're just like, I don't want to do this. Just get it done with.
Oh yeah, my name is both of my names are really big, so
So yeah, sometimes it just takes a while, right? You just like scribble, scribble, and just like get it done with, right?
takes me 5 minutes to write my name. But
That's
the
funny.
fun fact is, after with my both hands, right now I can write me with my left hand and draw with my right hand at the same time.
At the same time,
Yes.
that is impressive. That is
Right.
really that's
That is,
Some
I
people
couldn't
say
do
I
that.
have the
Yeah.
seventh
yeah.
syndrome or something like this because I can remember every single day of my life and what the temperature was, what the weather was, etc.
You
And
know,
I
like
can
I'm
me,
sorry,
remember where I put my keys.
yeah, like
I,
me,
I,
I
I
can remember my long term. I can remember days, like you said, what was going on that day. But my short term, I can't remember lunch,
Yeah,
breakfast. I can remember what I had for dinner last night. I don't even know if I ate last night, but I can remember stuff in
yeah.
my long term. Yeah.
yeah. I remember one time I went from shopping and I put my grocery uh, in the right places, but not the crampons. I literally put them in the freezer. And I was like, where are my? I knew I bought them, but they were not. So I started to check everywhere. And I was like, okay, I give up. So I went to grab some food from the fridge and it was, oh shit, now I find you. Or I put my keys in the dishwasher. I was like,
Oh,
fuck. At least now they are clean.
I remember tearing my house apart one day and eventually finding my keys in the refrigerator as well. I don't I don't know how that had happened, but yeah, that I don't know.
My
I
worst
was in the
case
middle
was
of stuff.
forgetting to close the door. I mean, I slept a whole night with my door wide open from the house.
The front door, the entire house just wide open,
Yes,
or
it
the
was
bedroom door?
wide open. I was like, okay.
Huh.
And
Well,
2 days ago, I saw a bat on my corridor. I'm living in an apartment building. There was a
oh.
bat. I was like, oh, here you are, Dracula.
Okay. Okay, so that's where the bat part of the myth came in, probably, huh? Are there a
Yeah.
lot of bats in that area?
Uh, Not really. There are more bears.
Bears.
There's
That's pretty
Yeah.
different.
Yes. Right now we have a black bear that is kind of dangerous because it's he it was normalized with people giving food. So every single year we have maybe like 3 days or around 10 or 20 attacks by the bears.
They're
wow.
comfortable
I mean,
getting
you can
close to
search
people.
Romania and you will see there is a area called it's one of the most amazing roads in the world. It's called Transfăgărășan. You might
Yes.
heard of it,
Yes, I think I
or
saw it
Transalpina.
on a TV show. They went and they took like three different cars and just the most beautiful roads in
I
the
believe
world, I think.
the Red Bull with F1 cars made a video on that road. It's really difficult, and
Oh, was it on that
there is
one?
Oh, and
Okay.
sometimes
I,
on
I'm a huge nerd, like
blue.
Formula One nerd. I do not miss a single second of practice qualifying or the races or anything, especially Red Bull and
Who's your
McLaren.
favorite driver?
Red Bull's your
Uh,
team?
currently or overall, I mean, overall, if you've
Um,
seen me on
when I was a
Reddit,
child, was
I was gonna
Schumacher,
say
Raikkonen.
overall, if you've seen me on Reddit, my screen name is Senna da Silva, so clearly Ayrton Senna. For currently, I would have to say either one of the McLaren drivers. They're fighting so fiercely right now, and I've loved McLaren
Yeah,
forever since the Senna days. It's hard for me to pick one of the two. So
Lando and Norris,
Nicky
right? Lando
Lauda
Norris and
forever.
who's to be Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri, yeah, yeah, nice, nice.
Yeah, Nicky Lauda is just gonna
Yeah.
always be a
Watched
hero.
Rush, Mark?
Yes, I
Yes.
mean, how can a Formula One fan not have watched Rush?
I
Although
just had to ask. I just had to ask. Yeah,
I must,
I've seen it a couple of times, and yeah.
yeah, I must qualify my fandom there. I am nowhere near a hardcore fan, like you described yourself. So I know
Just just
some
to give you guys a
Formula
quick
One
little
stuff,
laugh.
but
So here's you can see it.
okay, yeah,
Aaron
yeah,
Senna
yeah.
poster. Um, little model cars of it. The McLaren here. Here's this massive cross stitch that I made of Lando Norris's
Oh wow,
car right
that's
there.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd with auto racing.
'Cause I'm an engineer, so like mechanical engineer. It's like thermofluids was my like specific area of focus of the thermodynamics, the aerodynamics of the whole ground system has always been just a mess. In the engines, I
I was
get
gonna say,
more
yeah,
into those sort of details, like those V8s back in Senna's. Those were incredible machines. I
yeah.
don't know how
I was gonna say the
I
ground
love
effects
the
today are
power of
pretty.
the new hybrids, but
Mhm.
I miss the just
Yeah, the
naturally
massive,
aspirated days.
especially like yeah, the early 2000s, but just the massive V10s running at like 18,000 RPM, and you couldn't be within a mile of them without hearing them.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah,
I believe I can beat
those were
them.
good times.
When I need to go to the bathroom, I reach the speed of light.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we got so off topic there, my bad.
Oh
It's all
yeah.
right. I had something though. Something I was thinking. Has anyone like had any like diet changes that helped with your epilepsy?
Junk food and pasta.
You
That
stopped
helped you?
eating pasta?
Wait, can you repeat?
You stopped eating pasta? Is that
Oh,
what
yes,
you?
I no longer can eat pasta, spaghetti, noodles, any type.
I also cut back on that.
I
Is it the
always have
gluten? The wheat
seizure after
gluten?
eating.
Say that again.
I always have seizure after eating carbohydrates from pastas and noodles.
I don't know if the pasta in this country is different than over there, but it's all like egg noodles over here, egg-based stuff. But it's pretty much you don't get much nutrients from it. It's all yeah, pretty much empty carbohydrates. Um, so yeah, I pretty much cut it out because I don't really get much. There's no protein, no vitamins or anything from it. So no, I can't eat it. My sister's a vegetarian though, and when she comes over, my mom makes tons of pasta, and I can't eat it. I just I nothing. I just it's not a meal. It's just calories.
Nikki?
I'm
Hi.
gluten free and I've been gluten free for over 25 years now. No, maybe like 20, 23 years now. So I was gluten free before it became like a thing for people to be gluten free. And that helps a lot. If I have gluten, I'm in bad shape. Um, and uh, like what you were just saying, AJ, with the carbohydrates, it's the same for me with oatmeal. I cannot have oatmeal. I immediately have a seizure because it's too, I think it's like too many carbohydrates at once.
Actually, I used to wear a Dexcom sensor on my arm, and every time when I was eating pasta, my blood sugar went from 70 around 250 in a matter of 50 minutes. And after that, in 5 minutes, I was like at 40.
You said that was your blood sugar?
Yes. From
Wow.
70 to 20, 20, 250 and back to 40. I'm like, yep, I'm about to seize.
Do you remember last
I
week, Brandon made the suggestion of getting tested for being hypoglycemic or some other sugar disorder? I
I
might
was
do that.
admitted in the hospital to test my blood sugar do um, and do all other stuff, and I found out that I can eat honey, um, uh, what are they called? Oranges, citrus fruit. I can eat them.
Oh, is there a reason for that? Like allergy
My
or
blood sugar
oh,
went
you're
from like,
okay.
and there is another product used for is used instead of sugar, and I was extremely sensitive.
Interesting. Hmm.
I, I just wanted to throw in there real quick too. I know, my, like I've said, my kind of eating and health issues are a little bit different and aren't exactly related to my epilepsy, but um, the way you prepare the food as well does make a big difference.
Yes, it
When we're kind of overgeneralizing right now and saying pasta. I can't go out to a restaurant and order a pasta dish because I know that there's going to be, it's going to be cooked in olive oil, there's going to be butter on it, the sauce is going to be oily or whatever. But here at home all the time, I make, a little bit of pasta salad all the time. I just boil the pasta, I throw in, some fat-free feta cheese, dice up some celery, some sun-dried tomato, just, whatever random pepper, pepperoncinis, whatever I have in the fridge. I just throw it all in there. I can eat pasta perfectly fine. But if I were to order that same thing out at a restaurant, dude, I'm going home. I'm gonna have a stomach ache. I'm gonna be using the restroom really soon. So it's not the pasta itself. For
It's the
some people,
sauce.
of course it is, but I'm saying it could be just how it's being prepared. Is look at it that way. Obviously, obviously your own body better than I do, clearly, and
But
how it
you
handles
said
pasta.
something
But
very
I just want to throw
important.
that out
It's
there.
oily.
Mhm.
The pasta should not be oily.
Yeah, but I
They're
mean, like
not
if you go
allowed.
out to a restaurant, cook wants to add that little bit of like flavor to it, and they'll put some butter on it or something like that just to make it.
a lot of rice.
Uh,
I'm an American. I'm going off of like American restaurants,
it's
so
not
that's probably why you're confused.
pasta are
But
not supposed to have water in it.
Yeah,
Only the
yeah,
steak.
exactly. That's what I do at home is
Only
I
the
just
steak.
I just boil it, throw in the extra ingredients, and then I just use it as it's, a snack to eat once in a while. Have it something ready to go in the fridge for if I have a seizure and don't feel like making another meal.
You should try pasta with pesto sauce. It's amazing.
I do. I have found a couple. There's a local brand that does make a very low fat pesto because pesto is usually very high in like olive oil. Um, so it's higher.
Yes.
It's a pretty higher fatty if you go like a regular pesto. But I have found a couple brands that are lower than it. I know this is gonna sound like stupid and like I'm trying to be all hipster and everything, but generally I usually have like 15 to 20 grams of fat per day. Like that's all I can really handle. I mean, if you go to McDonald's and grab like a cheeseburger right now, that's like 35 alone. So I really have to be specific with how I eat and how I cook and everything. Um, so maybe that is part of relating to my epilepsy. I don't know. And I hate talking about it because then it makes me feel like I'm being all like douchey and hipstery and like, oh, I eat better than you. I'm healthy.
Yeah, yeah, if
I
it
don't want
works
anybody.
for
I don't
you.
want anybody thinking that. I'm just saying my
Right.
experiences. That's all.
I'm pretty sure being hipster, it means a different thing, not being healthy. You can say all the people who are going to the gym or have diabetes are hipster, right?
Yeah, hipster over there and hipster here. I
Hipster
can see where the
is
difference.
a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, James, and then yeah, AJ, I understand where you're coming from too. Um, hipster can be different in different countries.
That's why it's good for all of us to talk and get to know different versions of everything, right?
Right. I just
But
learned a lot in 45 minutes.
there's nothing like the original version of hippies. Okay, right, Jeff? I mean, we
Oh,
No,
win.
never.
Hey, you paved the way for me to be able to go up a couple of blocks and buy a joint from a shop rather than having to like make 25 payphone calls to get a connect. So
That's right.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mm,
Yeah, right, you're welcome.
Spend like 20 minutes sitting on a sofa next to some sketchy dude with his pit bull, trying to pretend that you're his friend and you actually want to be there, just trying to
as
get
he's
out
as
of
and as
some
he's
stuff.
sitting there like licking the paper for the joint to roll it up, and then you got to like, smoke the same thing and
Yeah, yeah. Because it'd
wait,
be
you
rude
can
not to
smoke
go, but
weed
also,
in the
free
States?
bud, right?
Say that again.
oh yeah, AJ, I'm in California. It's completely legal here. There's literally like I wasn't exaggerating. Like a couple miles up the road, I can just ride my bike up to a store and go buy
Oh my God.
a a,
If I
a
use
vape,
CBD, if I
gummies.
use CBD, I
I
have
have
to keep my recipe around me because if I'm pulled over by a cop and he tests me for the drugs, he can arrest me and I can go to the jail for at least 7 years in
what
my
the
country
Oh wow.
just
that's
because I use. And if you
that's
do
crazy. That
your
yeah.
you're a drug dealer, you go up to 25 years.
If if it wasn't illegal, I would like send you a little care package right now of a bunch of stuff to make it easier for you.
Um,
I'm
I,
sure I'm
I
sure
will
I'm sure
say
we get caught somehow. So
So you said it's illegal, like they can like test you on the spot and see if you've been smoking.
yes. When I had my first teacher, I was in on an archaeological site in Romania, and there was, I believe you might heard of it, the Electric Castle Festival in Romania. It's a big festival in our country, and people usually get high, and the EMT when arrived, they were like, "Okay, you might be drugged, you might be high," but I was not, because I had my first seizure, and was it was supposed to come the air ambulance, but was the doctors were not available.
So how did they care for you at this festival? Was it open air, I'm assuming? You were outside?
No, an ambulance with intensive care arrived. Our medical system is pretty different from yours. We usually have doctors from hospital who are specialized in emergency medicine on ambulances. And depending on the situation, they're allocated, or it's the fire department who usually have also doctors.
And
We
that's
all stand
crazy
to
to me
learn.
that you could have that like that long of a, or a possibility of that long of like a jail sentence for that, because I mean that can stay in your system, depending on your metabolism, your body weight, all that. That can stay up into your system for like, 3 weeks, a month. So I mean, you could have, a joint a month ago and then get pulled over and then still have to do years of jail time because of that. That seems nuts, man. That's crazy. Like,
Actually, is because we use a lot of medicine who have in their formula lidocaine or all types of sedative, and usually there's nasal spray or ear drops, and if you are using them, you have to keep a recipe, and you're not allowed to drive
mm.
at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're definitely not allowed to drive here either. If you've like just gone and smoked a joint or something like that. Saying it's basically the same with drinking. Obviously, don't use heavy machinery after you've partaken in
oh, I
such
can't drink.
in such items. But yeah, that just seems like a really long time, especially since it's something that's barely, it's basically the same as like a cigarette. I mean, the cigarettes are more addictive and more expensive than weed is.
I don't
I
know,
mean,
maybe.
I don't think
I mean,
so.
last year I had to take a drug test to get one of my prescriptions refilled for my liver issue. And so my doctor's been my doctor since I was, a younger kid. So she already knew that I, smoked marijuana. So I was like, okay, is this going to be okay for me to be in my system to get this refilled? And she was like, no, that can't be in your system or else I can't refill it. And I was like, all right. So just right there for the next month, I just stopped, didn't do it, didn't need it. I didn't have a seizure the whole time. I didn't have any like cravings like, oh my God, I need a joint. Like like nothing like that. Like it's not addictive. It's not something that really, at least for me personally, screwed with, my brain, my seizures or anything like that. Had the drug test the next month, was completely clean, got my prescription refilled, and then went back to it. Nothing changed, seizure wise or life wise, or it was just something that certain I don't know, governments or authorities just make a huge deal out of for I don't know why.
It's a different system.
Oh yeah, definitely. Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're in different countries, different continents. It's different everywhere. But I'm saying, yeah, for at least here, why is it that I have to have it out of my system when I can literally legally go up the road and buy that item, why can't I get a prescription refilled if it's in my system? Like you're not sitting here telling me I can't have, broccoli in my system when you're testing me. Like why can't I have
Actually,
this
it's like
other?
saying, yeah, you can have the prescription for the epilepsy because we've tested you and you are still active with the substances.
Yeah. And I hate taking it, and I have like 4 or 5 bottles of it because I hardly ever use it unless it gets just that bad of painkillers. I'm prescribed morphine every single month for when it gets really really bad, but I hate taking it because on top of all of my other medication that just makes me feel even loopier. So I usually why I that's why I smoke. But so they're willing to prescribe me morphine every single month, but I can't smoke a joint. That that that's the medical system here in California. Maybe not the entire country, but at least here in California, over the last year, that's what I've had to deal with is I can get morphine once a month, but I can't smoke a joint. Somehow that makes sense to somebody higher up.
I got something, guys. It says nobody takes me serious. Is it just me? I have tonic-clonic seizures. I come out of them missing chunks of my teeth, and sometimes with serious injuries. It took me a while to even admit to myself that I have epilepsy, and that it wasn't just several isolated events. My neurologist recommended a support group to me. I'm medicated, and now that I'm finally able to admit it to myself and I have epilepsy, I've told my friends, and they're like, "Yikes!" Anyways, I can't tell if they think I'm being dramatic or don't believe me, or not the type of person to cry wolf every time I'm sick. And it was a really big deal for me. And I'm sort of like, WTF. Um, doesn't seem like there was a. Oh, the question was, is it just me? Person feels like they're not being taken seriously. Did you guys hear it? Yeah, I say if you're not being taken seriously by like your friends and stuff, you gotta have a talk with them and maybe one on one, figure it out instead of just running away from people because they're not being there or whatever the case. Try one on one, I suggest. First comment says because almost no one knows what epilepsy really feels like in a whole, unless you have it or are closely related to someone who has it. But that's it. Another comment says, the other day I was resting after another seizure and my partner said something to the tune of, "You're not in pain, you're just lazy," then wondered why I ugly cried. People don't realize how hard it is to live with this. Even the well-meaning, caring people in your life have no clue how much of your life just is just around avoiding seizures or coping one after another.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I think I think it was Kevin. You said a term the other day that I had never heard before, and it was like the best thing ever. Like an invisible disability is
Yes.
essentially what we have. People they don't take it seriously because they don't see it. It's not something that happens every
We're not in
day.
a wheelchair, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not missing, like
Yeah.
think the
Yeah,
example I
we're
used at
not.
the time, I'm not missing a limb. You can't see it. You can't just walk up and talk to somebody. You don't have a seizure every day, so not everybody around you sees it. So when you do show up to work and you're drained, you're tired, or you miss work or whatever, or an event, and it's hard to explain because people are just like, you're just like, oh yeah, I had a seizure. And first off, most people are just like, what the hell is that? Second of all, if even if they do know what it is, they barely know what it's like, and it's yeah, it is tough to find people that will take it seriously.
Yeah, like when someone says, like you said, they'll say, "What is that?" When you say, "What is a seizure?" I was telling the lady at the store what a seizure was because I was telling her to go watch this, and she was like, "I never seen a seizure." She was like, "Can you show me one?" I googled it and I could not find a video of a seizure to show her, and I was like, "That's." It's like I must not. Google must not have it. Then someone else must have it. But
And that,
Google is where I
that
looked, and I could not find a video of a seizure.
that's funny because like I said, I'll have like family around me a lot of the times when they happen, and each time I keep saying, I was like, take your phone out and film me. Like I want to see me having one. I want to see it. I want to finally know what it looks like. But obviously when it's, a loved one that's around you and you're in the middle of a seizure, that's not their first thought, right? But like, does anybody else, is that just like me being super super freaking weird? Like, does anybody else want to
No,
see themselves have one and kind of know how their body reacts while they're having one?
Um,
Is
No,
that
I
super weird?
film myself. I recorded myself maybe 4 times, and every time when I saw myself, my soul dropped.
yeah, I've seen around four as well, maybe three. Three I can
Oh,
remember. But yeah, like my
I
camera's right here in front of me, so it'll catch me in bed or right here in my chair. Um,
I know I almost like semi want to get like a little like security cam or something like in the corner of my room, like so I can see myself like if I have one. Like I just want to know like what my body does, what goes through, maybe what other
Trust
things I
me,
can,
the
if
child proof, safety
movements
proof.
of the body are not the worst part. It's the worst part is when you realize that during the seizure you're choking on your own saliva and blood. That's when it's something I truly tell you you don't want to see and be able to realize in what danger you are.
yeah, when I
understand
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
more,
If
I
there was
was
a
more
medical
worried about
reason
the
for recording it, you know, it, but otherwise, I would never want to see it myself and having a seizure. That it just weirds me out. No, I would not want to see it. But like, yeah, if there was something wrong, something seriously wrong, yes, or I would need to, yes, for the doctors to see.
Yeah, I never show my seizure to anyone. I was like, yeah, I'll just keep this for me, for myself. Nobody should suffer seeing me.
No,
I
It's
posted
enough
mine.
for me.
I
I'm
posted
glad
a
I
video
Nobody's
of
I'm
mine.
wanting
not
to
seeing
see mine.
myself.
It
I've
was a good
offered to
video.
show my seizure videos to several of my friends and family members in real life, and nobody except for the people who there and recorded it want to see it.
mm,
Yeah, my room
It's
camera
interesting.
recorded it.
I don't know.
Like you were saying, you wanted to get a camera and put it up in a corner. Um, Mine is also there so other people don't see it. So it's also a camera to make sure nothing goes missing or whatever the case.
Yeah,
Yeah, James
yeah, I
said
don't know.
he
I
put
mean,
it up
it's
high
not
in the
something.
corner.
It's not something
there's
like
no.
I'm just gonna like
Oh,
then sit down and chill back and just like watch on rewind or something. Like I just want to see my body doing it. I've been having them for damn near 20 years now. They're gonna continue to happen no matter what, if they're on camera or not. I just
how
I'm just
often?
curious and want to see what my body does during that time. That's all. So yeah, I
Yeah,
guess that
how
is a
often
weird
are you
thought.
getting them? I'm assuming tonic-clonics if you want to record them at night, nocturnal.
Mhm. Um, they they've happened at at all times of the day. Sometimes I'm lucky and they happen while I'm already laying in bed. I've had them in the shower. Um, as I've explained mentioned before, I literally I had two at two separate times while I was at Disneyland. So I've had them like in public, big public areas, and it's just like they happen no reason. I have no like aura, no feeling ahead of time. So I just kind of want to know what my body's doing during those 30, 60, whatever seconds, and just a morbid curiosity, I guess. I'd probably honestly I'd watch it once or twice and be like, okay, that's what happens, I'm done. Like I just, yeah, just a weird thing.
I don't know. I guess I feel kind of like an outlier in this whole. I think we've had this discussion before in varying um, combinations of attendees, and I get the sense that most of us here don't want to see them. And I feel like I've wanted to get it recorded. I wanted to see, right from the outset. Um, so I'm glad to have a friend. I'm not alone, at least. There's somebody else who really wants to know, really wants to see it. But I would definitely suggest getting a camera, a security camera or nanny cam or something. I have not a nanny cam, I have a security camera up there in the corner, and it's got a wide angle lens on it, so it's able to capture basically the floor space of this entire bedroom here, and it's motion activated, motion triggered. So it doesn't record anything unless, something happens, something moves across. And you just stick a little micro SD card in it, and the size of the micro SD card just determines how far back it can record.
Yeah.
And it'll just start recording over the oldest ones once it hits the end of it. But I've got a terabyte in there right now, and I don't think I mean it's got at least a week worth of video in there.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so I would suggest just going for it if it's a thought that you've had, if it's something that happens all times of the day and there's a specific room that you spend a particularly large amount of your time in, that would probably be a good place to set it up. I don't know if you like how much time you spend out around the house and all that, but in my case, it was just the bedroom. It seemed like the obvious choice. So,
Yeah, for me too, it would just be my bedroom here. But and
yeah,
also
I
for
got
those replying in the chat, I agree with most of you as well. Like I would never want to see any of you guys, anybody else that I cared about having one. Um, or God forbid I ever, had one happen to one of the kids that I'm working with at school or something. I would flip out. I would not want to see that. But because it's myself, it would just be like I don't know, a learning experience. And like I said, see it once or twice, know what the hell's going on, who knows? Maybe it would help me identify something that I can tell the doctor, and help me along in the progress or whatever. So
I mean, the motions that a person makes in the onset of a tonic clonic, from my understanding from the um the doctor in my follow-up, that can be very helpful in terms of identifying a sort of general region of the brain that something is happening. So when the VEEG um, recorded my two tonic-clonics, they noticed a lip smacking automatism and a turning in my head to the left. And so they assess, I mean, the pulling of the head to the left, the eyes turning to the left, and the lip smacking, they associated with right side temporal, frontal
Mm.
temporal lobe, and the EEG electrodes there confirmed that sort of recording. And then, just the convulsions going into a generalized seizure. But if you're able to capture that on video for the doctor beforehand, that sort of information, that level of video recording, more than just, the thing is triggered and you got like the second half of it, that could be helpful to the doctor a lot more than just, knowing that they're actually happening. So.
Yeah. Because yeah, I mentioned I've had at two separate times I've had seizures while already in the hospital for my other health issues, probably
Oh,
related, but
so
whatever.
they
They
don't have any questions about
they happen, but
their
no, the two were completely different. One the first one I had there, it was a slower day. It was like a weekday, middle of the day or whatever. So I had, I got my own little like ER, room. Um, and my body moved around a little bit. It was only a few 30 seconds, maybe at most. They administered something through my IV. I can't remember the name of it now. But then the other one, when I was there, it was a really busy evening. I basically just got stuck on like one of the extra beds that they have like in the hallway of the ER, so it didn't have the rails on the side. So I ended up having a full, grandma, more flopping around. I ended up falling out of the bed into the middle of the hallway. They had to have a couple of, nurses try and hold me down while another one gave me the medication through my IV. I don't remember any of this. This is, what others around me had told me. But yeah, one was just a quick, done and over with one. The other one was flopping around, falling out of the bed, needing people to hold me down. And those are the only two that at least my doctor or, doctors have seen in person. And those are pretty opposite, from each other. So then when I try and tell them my other ones are this or this, and they're all over the place, it just, yeah, sometimes it feels like the other person was just saying you just don't get taken seriously sometimes.
You never had a video EEG
What type of EEG?
with a video?
video, VEEG.
Yes, it's type of EEG, and you are recorded, so they know they can correlate the
I've had
EEG and
EEG
the.
done uh a couple of times in the past, but it's been quite a while. So no, they weren't recorded. I don't even believe I was asked um if I wanted that or not. I don't think that was an option because it was probably, I want to say, like the
It's
last time
not
was like
for
six
you,
or
the
7 years
and it's
ago.
for
But
them.
but and I mean,
Yeah,
like I said,
they
the other
they
ones were in the
recorded
ER,
on
so maybe there
camera.
was like security cam footage of it or something, but I never asked.
Because
With the
I
with the
when I'm having a EG done, it's always recorded. But it actually it's not useful because I had a seizure, and when my doctor tried to hold me, I ended up breaking his arm.
Oh, your super Hulk strength there again, huh?
Yeah, I break his wrist, from what I understand, some bones and some ligaments.
Wow,
Ugh,
that's crazy.
gross.
We know not to mess with AJ now.
I mean, it's kind of expected because I end up breaking my um,
Little fella.
scapula. So it was literally broken, and my shoulder was dislocated. So breaking his arm was not something out of ordinary.
That's crazy.
You a little fella. I couldn't imagine.
He always says that he has a memory from me.
It would be hard to forget something like that, for
Right.
sure.
Especially every time I see you, I think about it. That's the guy that broke my arm. But back to the post where they asked why does nobody take them serious. One of the comments here says, the other day I was resting after yet another seizure, and my partner said something to the tune of, "You're not in pain, you're just lazy," and then wondered why I ugly cried. Oh, I think we read that one, or I read that one. Another person said, invisible disabilities are not often understood by able beings. Epilepsy is viewed a lot as a mental illness to people. So, and someone else said, I think it's kind of an uncomfortable topic for a lot of people because they don't understand it well enough. That's why I'm glad I found this sub so I can talk about how I'm feeling like an alien. Yeah, we can go to the next one.
I mean, yeah, kind of like you had said a little bit earlier, Pookie, too. Like when people ask about it, or like, can I see one or something, something like that. It's like how do you show that person, what it is? And if they do ask what it is, the only thing that I can think of to just like make the conversation just, like a real quick, simple thing is use like the stereotypical one. Like most people, if you hear a seizure, like, or if they show one in a movie or something, the stereotype is the person, a grandma, flailing around, right? And those are like the only types of seizures that most people know of. So then I'll just be like, oh yeah, that's what your body does. Like I'm not gonna sit there and like spend an hour trying to inform them on what seizures are, but that's been like my kind of go-to thing is just to explain to what people have, especially when you say it's like something like a bigger one like that, then they kind of understand, or they might have a little bit more like care and sympathy for you versus if you just say like, oh, sometimes I just stand there and I kind of stare off into the distance and don't know what's going on. Like I'm not trying to diminish those types of seizures or anybody that has those or any of the ones that I've had like that, but it's definitely yeah, how do you explain it to somebody in like two sentences that has no clue what it is? Like what do you guys do?
Right, you can't understand a focal. I heard my friend Brandon, he said if you were to put somebody in a movie and they had a focal, they wouldn't understand it. So that's why they make the person have the shaking seizures, which then makes people
There's
also think that that's the only seizure there is when they see that type. Because that's the one in the movies. That's the only one they advertise, basically.
So then and that's why, yeah, like a lot of people I feel like don't take it seriously because that's the only type of seizure they know is like you have to be, flopping around, hit your head on something, be bleeding. Like other than that, then you don't have a seizure or it's not serious enough or, something like that. That's what, like, I don't know, like vibes that I get from other people sometimes about it.
I guess people who are lucky enough to just only have one kind of seizure could narrow it down and be able to explain it as zoning off or something to that effect. But you always just want to include that line of how long it should last or something to indicate to somebody who might be a witness when it might be time to call for help. Like as soon as you see me go down, call this number, something like that. Kind of like what the tag on like a service animal says, the number to call and what the deal is.
Oh, hey, and since you guys are all here and we talked about this last week, I was asking about the medical bracelet type of thing. So I worked on mine. I got a chain. I got a little lobster clasp on it. So now, whenever I'm wearing my different pocket watches, all I have to do is just clip it on there, and now it's always going to be on me. This is a thought that I would have probably never had if we hadn't been talking about it last week. So thank you guys, because now hopefully this will keep me a little bit safer always having that on me.
You gotta. Yeah. Do you have another one for your wrist, or you just have that one?
I just have that one, but I always have some sort of watch on me. I almost always have a pocket watch on me.
Yeah,
If not, and then I also want to get one. I think it was Mark that had it the other day. He has a necklace with the symbol on it as well. And then so that I
guitar
would
pick as well.
yeah. So I would just turn that into like the little chain fob in the middle of my pocket watch. And then that way always just going with like the rest of my style. But at least I would still have I would have all of that stuff on me, and that's like stuff I never really thought about until we had the chat about it last week. So thank you guys for sure.
Um,
Glad you put that information to good use. Do you guys ever want to put something specifically about the emergency meds on your jewelry? You know, like where to find it kind of thing? Or do you guys ever carry the nasal am on you? I don't know what the hell I would do without a diaper bag, so.
I
Yeah, I
always
don't know
have
how
like
to
one of the
carry
like
it with me. I'm sorry, James, go ahead.
oh no, my bad. I was just gonna say I always carry like a satchel, as Indiana Jones would say. It's not a purse, it's a satchel. One of the
Oh,
over the shoulder bags. So I always have, my extra meds in it, some other stuff. I do need to find a rescue med that does work for me. So that would really help. But yeah,
does
my
does
emergency
Nasolam not
badge here
work?
does say I am allergic to Regolin, a nausea med. So it does mention that. So far, that's the only thing I believe that I'm allergic to. So hopefully it stays that way. But that's what's on there right now.
Does Nasolam rescue med not work? The nasal spray midazolam?
I I I honestly don't know. I need to talk to my doctors because literally I have never been recommended. This will show you how fucking shitty Kaiser can be sometimes. The Fremont one that I was bitching about the other day. I had no clue that there were um seizure nasal rescue meds. I had no clue. Having
Oh,
these for almost 20 years, I had no clue that there was
yeah.
any sort of rescue medication for it. I had
The
never been
the
told.
nasal ones are kind of newer, but we got into this like a week or 2 weeks ago. There have been rectal gel um,
Yeah. But
preparations for I think at least 40 years now.
yeah,
But yeah,
from reading stuff like on the Reddit and from the other chats, the two I had that I'd looked into that bookmarked that seemed okay was Nasalium and Val Valtoco.
Beltoco.
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah,
to pronounce
the
that, but
basically
yeah, those were the
diazepam,
two that I was going to
or
ask
it's
my
like
doctor about.
diazepam is Valium, so it's like a nasal version of Valium, or Nasalam is midazolam. I think midazolam is um Ativan. I don't know, but they're basically just benzodiazepines. The same stuff that they push into an IV to rescue a seizing patient in the
Oh, okay.
hospital. They just put it in
That
a
yeah, that's
nasal
what
spray preparation that they, use for like allergies or
yeah, that's what I
Narcan.
was saying. I wanted to talk to my doctor about it and see what which one they had given me while I was seizing there, in the ER. I wanted to see which ones that, they had given me because obviously I'm here today, so they worked, they helped, right? So I just wanted to, yeah, see if, that was available in that form and yeah, keep that on me and
I took lorazepam as a rescue med, and I almost certain that's a benzo. Very small amount, 2 milligrams. Whenever
Yeah,
my
the
auras
pen
got
at the end, most of
what,
those are benzodiazepines with the
yeah,
pen.
that sounds like it. And yeah, very very small amount. They said never take more than 2 milligrams a day. Very space it out. Yeah, they're very explicit about that. They were, very, and it always worked almost 100% of the time. Whenever my auras got, increased to a certain amount, and I always took one, sat down, and they went away. It was very powerful. It worked, and yeah, I saw a lot of fuss about lorazepam on TV, people taking it as drugs, and that kind of pissed me off.
I got something. It says, I'm so disheartened over my memory loss. I don't know if it's the epilepsy or the lamotrigine. My memory, both long and short term, is shocking. I graduated top of my class in law and political science, and everything I learned has been wiped away. Worse, my capacity to learn anything currently has been disappeared. I read a book last week and could read it again today because I can't remember the plot. People think I'm uneducated and unintelligent because although I spend a lot of time learning and researching, it all disappears. My only type of smart was being book academically smart, and it's gone now. I have no other skills, and when I try to learn new ones, it just doesn't happen. Each time I try, it's like doing something for the first time. I never progress. Anyway, I just had to share that. Wonder if anyone else has been through this. Yep, I watched movies for the first time several times. Um, yeah, I've watched a lot of movies for the first time several times in the past several days.
This person's losing their ability to learn and speak, right? Basically.
They said they went to school for law and political science and they don't remember anything. Basically, they're asking, is it it's the medication or the epilepsy? And has anyone been through this? Was the main question.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I was a fantastic speaker for a long time. I can ad lib and make stuff up. And I did theater in high school. I was taking medicine in high school, but not the medicines I take now. I take a lot of medicine now. I was taking, you know, small amounts in high school. But I mean, yeah, I never had, the and brain fog, but you always have to keep your brain sharp, even when it starts to go foggy. And it's very elastic, the brain. You just can't give up on yourself like that. And just keep working on the speech. That's why I keep doing this, because like I gotta keep talking. If I go days without talking to anyone, it's just gonna rot my brain and my voice, and I gotta keep working on it. Keep working on it, and keep working on yourself is all I can say.
First comment says, same. Also, the motion gene, I used to be on top of the class in school. Now it feels like an absolute creep. I have ADHD as well, and So my working short-term and long-term memory systems are all fucked. I've been able to joke about it in the past, but it is becoming really difficult in the last few years. Another person says, I took a cognitive test administered by a neuropsychologist, and we figured out that I have short-term memory loss and may originate from left temporal lobe, where my seizures originate, and my lamotrigine targets. I'm recommending that anyone experiencing issues like this try to get a neurocognitive testing wait list in order to get a solid assessment and a possible retest down the road to measure improvement or decline. An upside to this is that I can request reasonable accommodation for things like exams. Said since I had scored high pretty much in every except where I recall, I was very embarrassed when I bombed that part. I got another one. Says, oh, you always say you're tired. I'm sick of having to explain myself to coworkers repeatedly. I don't know how many times I've said that. Yes, I feel sleepy a lot due to my medication and insomnia because of my epilepsy. I'm trying my hardest. I show up at work and I do the same hours as everyone else. I can't afford to work less and I don't qualify for any sort of disability allowance in the UK because the government doesn't think I'm disabled enough. End quote, disabled enough. Whatever that fucking means. So yeah, forgive me if I seem a little tired on certain days. I already told you all the reasons, so I don't get why it's such a problem for you to all understand. The other one I get is, but you're going to young to be so you're too young to be so tired all the time. And then he says, oh, also because I'm in my early 20s, I'm not allowed to have chronic condition. Sorry for the rant, but is it me? Why am I always tired? You're always tired because of the medication. It just comes with it. Since you have no one else who's going to tell you, I'll tell you. It's the medication. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not a doctor.
100% the medication for sure. I've told you guys I ride my bike everywhere. Obviously I don't drive now, but I've always been into bikes. I started working at bicycle shops when I was 15 years old in high school. I mean, I would do you know, like training, like road bike, like Tour de France type like rides. I'd be doing 30, 40, 50 miles a day, like as a ride. And that was just like cool. This is a weekend. I'm gonna get some exercise in. That was completely normal. And now like riding to and from work, it's a total of like 6 point something, like 7 miles, and I'm just dead. I'm at work for like an hour or two. I've ridden like only a few miles. I'm just dead at the end of the day. And yeah, I've gotten older, but I'm also not 80 years old, right? I'm only 39. So it's definitely, yeah, the medication adds to it. So whoever posted that comment, just realize that's probably what's going to happen. You might need to do some stuff to work around it, maybe change the dosage, but unfortunately, I think that's going to be something that you might just have to deal with, man.
Yeah, for me to get a little more extra energy from that being tired, I started taking this B12 by Nature's Made. It works. I haven't had a focal and I've been doing pretty good. Gives me a little more energy, sometimes more than I need. But yeah, shout out to Nature's Made. The gummies, especially, they're good. It's easy to take and they're gummies. So yeah. Hey Brandon, you didn't get the icebreaker yet.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
But yeah, Kate knows the icebreaker.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
That's gonna be what's your favorite thing to do after a bad seizure?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I I just want to sit and literally hold my head in my hands for like an hour and a half. Just nothing.
Understandable.
That's what I was saying like earlier too, man. I just want to, yeah, crawl up into bed, smoke a little bit. I mean, obviously, you know, couple of shots would be nice. I never do that because that obviously would be the worst thing. But when your head's hurting that bad, that's what you're wanting. But but
Uh, if
yeah,
if a
yeah,
couple of shots is something that you had before you had your seizure, then you know that that's a trigger. So maybe avoid that.
oh no, I'm not saying I had it before. I'm saying that like when I wake up and my head hurts that bad, like that's, you know, we're joking around and saying what do you want? That would be what I want. I would never do that right after because I know that would be the dumbest fucking thing you could possibly do right after one. But but yeah. And since you and I are obviously bike guys, we want to ride our bike and get out, right? But that's obviously again probably one of the worst things to do right after you have a seizure. You shouldn't be out on a two-wheeled vehicle. So, so it's basically like you said, just crawl into bed and hope it all goes away in a couple of hours or so, right? You you doing okay? You doing okay, Brandon?
That's something
All
that he
right, we'll
said.
keep an eye.
Keep going. You're
Um, since people need to be humbled so bad, who agrees? If you're able to live healthy, normal life, how about just be grateful for it? My family is constantly calling me lazy, as if my capabilities were a choice, as if to choose seizures every day and be depressed. My sister is attending college soon, and I'm happy for her, but she needs to check herself and her big ego. She always needs to point out how I have no driver's license and I can't keep a job. Like I don't know, like I don't wonder why. They are all aware of my seizures. They just don't know how it feels to go through every day. I'm still untreated for it, and it's been almost a decade, it feels. Everyone is pissing me off, and I can't. And when they mock my health, saying I'm exaggerating, it makes me not want to be here, even be here anymore. Um, yeah, the person was asking people need to be humble. Do you understand? And when they explain it like that, I understand. And they're still
Yeah, I can see
untreated.
their perspective.
Yeah, definitely. It's what are we? August now. My other than just basic casual at couple of family get-togethers, my sister and I haven't spoken to each other in nearly a year. Um, she we got into an argument, and she had just had her son, so she was having just, I don't know what the right terms are. I don't want to be offensive to females, like postpartum or just hormonal stuff after you have a baby or whatever. So she was being very combative, quite bitchy sometimes, sometimes, and she expected the rest of us as the family to completely just go along with it, and we were supposed to, be fine with this. But then if I said anything, then she would go off on me immediately. It's like, okay, I've been on seizure medications for the last 15 years and you haven't given a fuck about that. But you have a kid, and for the next couple of months, we're supposed to bow down and, treat you like a fucking princess. So somebody who knew, I literally one time went out to dinner. It was our parents and I had a seizure in the back seat of the car sitting with her, and like fell over onto her, and I was like drooling like on her lap as I was having this seizure. Like I literally had a seizure on top of her, and she just didn't my medication, me taking something, me having something to do with that. No, no, not a big deal. Why I might, be off and, you know, be a little bit argumentative for a little bit. But if she does something and it's, something that's only going to last for a couple of months, the rest of us have to, bow down and, bend to her will. So I've essentially, yeah, it essentially stopped talking to my sister for about the last year or so, because if it's somebody that's that close to me that I've literally had a seizure on and they still don't understand my situation, then fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. Even though it's my blood, it's my sister. I love her to death. I love my nephew. I love her husband, the whole family. But there's just at some point you you can change your mindset, after the hormonal things or whatever that just goes on for a couple of months. I can't change my mindset after, 20 years of these medications and these seizures.
So you
Yeah.
ever think maybe you can put aside your discrepancies for that couple of months while she gets her body and all orders back into line? Because as somebody who's dealt with postpartum issues and several anti-seizure medications that don't bode well, that shit is not the same.
Oh, I've tried to. I still talk to my brother-in-law, once in a while. You guys notice I've mentioned my, cross stitching. I still do I make, a bunch of little things for my nephew. I do tons of other stuff. I just pretty much avoid having any serious conversation, with my sister. I'm at the point where, like, yeah, okay, you had that going on for a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but you already knew for, 15 years prior to that what my issues were, and you still got on my ass. You still haven't apologized. You still haven't said anything.
That's
She
an
can say
absolute
sorry for
blessing
it.
that she's allowing for you to have access to your nephew. I
Well,
mean,
it's
if you
not
have issues with
exactly
the
it's
mama,
not
that's a
exactly
big deal.
allowing. I wouldn't say exactly allowing. It's because I live with my parents, and so it's their grandchild, and so I just happen to be in the same house as the time that they come and visit. But I still do text, like I said, text her brother-in-law once in a while, and I'll send updates once in a while, and I'll be like, "Oh, hey, can you text or show my sister this, like something I want to like pass along to her, but I'm still not gonna, speak to her. Yeah, I'm being an asshole. Yeah, maybe I'm being a jerk, but I'm not gonna sit here for 4 hours and tell you the entire story. There's a lot of back and forth, obviously, when it's a sibling argument, right? For anybody
Got
that has
plenty of
some
time.
Yeah,
siblings,
no, I mean this high horse
but
humility issue. I'm sure it's a side that has or that's a coin that has two sides for sure.
I got nothing but time.
we all do. We all do, right? We got like another what, like 20 hours here with the insomniac session or something tonight.
At this point. Back to the comments about person saying people need to be humbled, and do we agree? First comment says, I feel you 100%. People don't understand the effect epilepsy has on you. It's really annoying to have constantly to rely on other people. The next comment says, you are a kinder soul than me. I snap at everyone every time they try to downplay my condition. Another one says, people not realizing how much of a privilege being able-bodied is my biggest pet peeve. When able-bodied people around me start getting testy about my life, I give them this one statement. How about we swap? I'll do your job, operations, reception, lawyer, doctor, whatever, and you do the 24/7 terror, pain, headache, and nausea, and 2 brain surgeries and 6 medications since 13 years old, and the expectations of a normal life on top of that. Should we swap? Let's swap. Usually that gets into a new conversation topic, new conversation topic, at least going, very least. Please feel free to use this use this thought experiment for your people in your life.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.